You must be joking. I love horror movies. Lights dim for the film.
Ah!
Damien screams. I apologize. I was thinking about something far scarier than this movie, which is not scary at all. We settle in as the film starts. I offer Damien some licorice and he takes one. I take note of how much his hand is shaking.
Ah!
The title flashes across the screen in bloody letters. Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies.
Huh.
A pale man with long silver hair, glittering red eyes, and well-oiled abs sits up in a coffin. Awaken my coven. Two more vampires slide the tops of their stone coffins onto the floor. Brother, is it time? Yes, husband, but also mortal enemy. It is time. The three look at each other and then to the camera. For the Vampire Crusade. This rules. The trio of vampires flies off into the night as foreboding organ music plays in the distance. I somehow get lost in the movie. As dumb as it sounded, it's actually a pretty fun flick.
Ah!
We get to a tense moment of the movie where Romulus Trueblood sits at a truce meeting with the general of the human army, whose wife Romulus has fallen in love with. Romulus, it is good to finally meet you. General, I agree. It's good to finally blood you.
What?
Romulus leaps out and slashes the general's throat. Blood splatters everywhere, including over everything, including the camera.
Ah!
Damien screams again, reflectively grasping my hand. I immediately blush, forgetting about any vampires or blood or vampiric blood.
What?
Oh, I'm... Stop! Not the first chat of the evening being I'd been... Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Damien retracts his hand and places it back in his lap. I was writing a novel in my head about blood magic, and I got to an extremely scary section. Damien goes back to quietly stressing out over the movie. It's kind of cute that he won't admit that he's afraid of it. I wish he would hold my hand again. Maybe I could do something to try and make him feel more comfortable. I've got it! I'll do what all dads do best. Talk during the movie. Where does a dog go when it loses its tail?
Oh my.
Where? To the retail store. I yell that last bit a little too loud for a crowded movie theater, but I can see a smile form on Damien's face.
Oh.
Good one, monsieur.
Huh.
The rest of the movie goes by relatively smoothly, with only a few whimpers from Damien. Maybe he would have liked the romantic comedy better. We get to the final scene of the movie where Romulus Badblood and the general's wife embrace each other in his crypt. It appears that the true Vampire Crusade was the Vampire Crusade in our hearts, our cold, unbeating hearts. Romulus and the general's wife begin making out. Hard.
What?
The film fades to black and the end appears on the screen. But then it hard cuts to Demetrius and his rival lover, Carmela, who watch the two from afar. Oh no, twist ending. Our bloodline has been pure for 1,000 years. Romulus has betrayed us by loving a human woman. It will only be a short time before the next Vampire Crusade 3, Evil Must Die Again. More thunder, more ominous organs. The movie fades out and a bloody question mark now accompanies the end. Damien and I walk out of the movie theater amidst throngs of chattering moviegoers. He's a little more pale than I remember, but otherwise he survived the encounter. He even seems kind of invigorated. What an interesting film. While the premise admittedly struck me as pedestrian, I was intrigued by its harrowing love story and great attention to detail in regards to vampiric lore. Am I quiet? Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot more vampire titties than I thought there would be. Come, the night is young. It's right here. It's like, right, I'm like... Okay. Pulled up. Are you happy now? Okay. Come, the night is young. Let us take a stroll. Damien is making a point of not telling me where he's taking me. Still, I'm enjoying the walk in the cool night air. Being alone here with Damien is a lot better than being in a crowded theater. Lovely night, isn't it? As lovely as the company, yes. He thinks I'm lovely! Damn, okay, here comes the smooth response. Thanks. No problem. Crushed it. We both stand there feeling a little awkward. I sure am one smooth operator. Are you getting a little hungry? We could maybe stop off and grab something to eat. Worry not, friend. I've a plan. We turn the corner and are greeted by the gates of a cemetery? What? Are we going in there? A little bit of Victorian flavor, monsieur. Trust me. I'm a bit nervous, but Damien hasn't led me wrong yet. I follow his lead and we walk into the cemetery. Statues of angels stare down at us as we follow the path through the faded tombstones. As we crest a small hill, we get a beautiful view of the city. The night lights sparkle around us. I've got to hand it to him for being in a cemetery. This is strangely romantic? Picnicking in graveyards is an old Victorian tradition. An appropriate finish to an evening after a vampire movie, wouldn't you say? With a flourish, Damien produces a blanket and a picnic basket! Wait, where were you hiding that? Under my cloak? Oh, right. Damien unfolds the blanket and we both sit down gazing out at the city lights. He produces a bottle of red wine and a fine selection of cheeses. In the Victorian era, there were no public art galleries, parks, or botanical gardens to speak of. Once rural graveyards became a more popular alternative to church burials, they became the only place that people could see beautiful plant life and fine sculptures. That makes sense. This is pretty nice. I have a question, though. How are you so okay with being in a graveyard, but you had trouble handling a scary movie?
What?
I wasn't... He sighs deeply. Okay, yes, I was extremely scared by that movie. I was not writing a book about blood magic in my head. I've never been good at those. I just feel as if, because of how I look and act, people expect me to love horror films, so I must play the part. Truth be told, I don't know if I have the constitution for them at times. Damien, I'm so sorry. If I'd have known, I would have suggested another movie. It's quite alright. I actually did find myself enjoying this one, thanks to your help. Graveyards, however, I think there's something rather beautiful about death. Cemeteries are traditionally built away from cities, away from the realm of the living, and it keeps us rather separated from it. To acknowledge death and become comfortable with it, I think, gives us a certain intimate knowledge of ourselves. To sit amongst generations of those who came before us, to be truly alive in the midst of so much depth, brings me great comfort. Death helps me appreciate life, to savor every second. We sit and enjoy our food and wine. I don't feel scared anymore. I never thought I'd be comfortable sitting alone in a graveyard at night, but I actually feel very peaceful. Suddenly it doesn't seem like we're alone. Off in the distance, I see a shadowy figure in the trees. What is that? I'm not sure. It noticed us. I'm paralyzed with fear as it begins lumbering slowly towards us, shape taking a more animal form, more feral. I look to Damien for help, but he's just as afraid and transfixed as I am. I want to scream, but it's stuck in my throat. The creature's getting closer, moving faster. Woof! Oh. It's a dog. As it finally comes into light, the friendliest, dumbest little Boston Terrier I've ever seen pulls its owner towards us. The dog trots over to Damien and sniffs at his hands. Damien looks ecstatic. He ruffles the dog's fur happily. What a beautiful dog. Hey. We both look up, not expecting to see... Robert! Thanks. Robert, what are you doing out here on this lovely evening? Hunting cryptids. What? What? I didn't know you had a dog.
Hey.
This isn't my dog. I found her wandering in the street. I put a leash on her, and now we're walking around this graveyard together. Hunting cryptids. Damien and I share a look. May I give her a treat? Sure. Wouldn't give her cheese, though. Not to worry. Damien reaches into the depths of his cloak and procures a small dog treat. What else is he keeping in there? The dog laps up the treat and crunches away, tail wagging furiously. Damien continues to smooth down her fur. Thanks. My absolute pleasure. Damien shakes the dog's paw. Lovely to meet you, my friend. May our paths cross again. Robert and his dog disappear into the darkness again. Damien stares after them. Yes. I didn't know you liked dogs. Victorians loved dogs, actually. Most Victorian women of high fashion would always be accompanied by a small dog, such as a terrier or a Maltese. I, think big dogs are nice, too. Yeah, man, dogs are cool. I do believe we've had enough excitement for one night. What say we make our way home? Damien hops to his feet and extends a hand to help me up. I gladly take it, as my knees aren't what they used to be. He packs up his picnic basket and leads us out of the graveyard. As we begin the walk home, I take one last look at the cemetery. It really is beautiful. Like a proper gentleman, Damien walks me to my doorstep. Thank you ever so kindly for your company tonight. Damien, it was my pleasure. Monsieur, if you'll allow me, it would bring me great joy to offer you a token of my affection. Damien reaches into his cloak and pulls out a folded, monogrammed handkerchief. He presses it into my hand. Wow, thank you, Damien. I will use this to dry my tears for those I've lost. A noble purpose. Damien shuffles his feet. I just want to say that it's rare to find someone like you. Someone who's open to my eccentricities. It's nice to feel so accepted. Thank you. Damien gives my hand a quick squeeze. Damien blushes and hastily retracts his hand. I must take my leave. Good night. Before I can say anything else, he's gone. I love him! I love him! Huh. I unlock the door and step inside. Hey. Like a whirlwind, Amanda runs from the window and plops down on the couch, trying to look nonchalant. Hey, Dad, what's up? Were you watching me from the window? No, I was just... Okay, guess. How was the movie? Lots of vampire titties. Told you. But, as it turns out, Damien is Wait, Amanda doesn't need to know that. I'll keep it between me and Damien. Scary cool. Yep, he's so cool it's scary. Nice save, monsieur. Did you know that graveyards used to be a place to throw parties? I think I'm misremembering that. Wow, that's pretty punk. Also, we saw a dog. Definitely thought it was a werewolf for a minute, though. How could you be so sure it wasn't a werewolf? How can you be so sure I'm not a werewolf? And how can I be so sure you're not a werewolf? Amanda's eyes narrow. I don't trust you. Nor I you. We make intense, wary eye contact for a second. Anyway, I'm calling it for the night. Don't stay up too late, will ya? I'll try not to howl at the moon past midnight.
My stars, this... Never in a million moons have I had a date such as exquisite as this one.
I love him! I love him so much! Oh my god! Okay. I know.
Yeah.
I actually cannot.
I love you too, Dad.
I love you too, Dad.
Welcome. You've got dads.
You've got dads. Chris. Chris, no. I know his name is Craig. That was bothering me all stream. All right. Nope, we already did Joseph. Damien! Damien! Ooh, 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 ooh. Ever since we had that picnic in the graveyard. Yeah. I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna judge. Ever since we had that picnic in the graveyard, and it fits for today's stream. Damien and I had been spending a lot of time together. We go on nighttime strolls pretty regularly. He was so impressed with the first letter I wrote him that he insisted we only communicate by post instead of through dad book. I initially protested, but he gave me one of his old signet rings to use as a seal for my letters, and I just couldn't say no. Hanging out with that goth dad again? Please, Amanda, you know his name. And yes, be honest with me here, Pops. Is he actually a vampire? I remember you inviting him into our household that one time, and I've seen The Lost Boys, and I honestly would have preferred trying to see if he could have walked through the threshold of our home under his own power. Yes, Amanda, I have become Damien's familiar. I'm compelled under his curse. I'm sorry, sweetie. Turn into a bat. I don't think... What's the point of being a vampire if you can't turn into a bat? Well, okay, I'm off. Are you taking the car or are you flying off into the night on the leathery wings of a bat? One of those. While I'm out, can you throw away the garlic bread that's in the freezer so I don't die? That'd be great. I'm keeping it in there as insurance. You understand, right? That's my girl. Damien and I walk along the water's edge, chatting. Damien's cloak. He hates it when people call it a cape. Damien's cloak flutters behind him in the breeze. Sorry, I'm pulling up the fucking... Okay. This is gonna seem like a silly question, but why do goths wear black? Gothic subculture has always been associated with death, so it would make sense that the style surrounding it would be greatly influenced by mourning.
Huh.
Interestingly enough, though, was that in the Victorian era, Queen Victoria herself mourned the death of her late husband for 10 whole years wearing black. For 10 whole years wearing black for the rest of her life. If that's not goth, I don't know what is. I have another question.
Oh.
Go ahead. How are you so comfortable with death? You mentioned in the graveyard that it helps you appreciate your life or something?
Oh, no.
I've experienced several losses over the course of my life, and I truly believe the only manageable way to cope with it is to accept that death is simply a part of living. It's the single universal truth for every human who has ever lived. I'm going to die, you are going to die, and life carries on without us. Doesn't that make you feel scared? Not at all. Without the advances of modern science, death was everywhere in the Victorian era, and yet funerals were major social functions. Victorians were obsessed with mementos of their loved ones, even going so far as to take elaborately staged photographs of their dead relatives. The minuet of mourning, or the minutia, whoa! Minuet is not spelled that way. The minutia of mourning was so complex that there were set periods of grieving that were deemed accessible based on who in your life had passed. Now, we don't have any of that. If you lose someone, you end up feeling lost yourself because we have no modern equivalent of those formalities. We need to allow ourselves time to grieve, to feel that loss fully, but not allow it to consume us. So no, I'm not afraid of death. I believe it is a waste to spend your life dreading the end of it. The time we have here is brief and fleeting and occasionally cruel, but it is at all times precious. To stare death in the face and live despite that, I think, is a noble existence. Let's save the mourning for the dead. Wow, that's beautiful. I can see the moonlight in the bay glint off of Damien's eyes. He smiles. We turn to the harbor and watch ships pass, breathing in the salty sea air. I look at Damien again, can't help but be entranced by his charm, his mystery. I find everything about him so fascinating. I lean in closer to Damien, close my eyes as I do so. I'm so sorry, I have to take this. Damien steps away from me to answer the phone. Oh no, I hope it isn't Lucian again. After speaking in hushed tones for a few moments, Damien returns to me. Everything okay?
What?
There's an emergency. Lucian?
Huh.
No, thankfully, but I must take my leave. Oh, okay. Is there anything I can do to help? Dads do have to stick together, right? You know it. Then come. There isn't time to waste. Okay. After a short drive in silence, we arrive at a rundown building on the outskirts of town. Where are we? It's better if I just show you. I push the surprisingly heavy door open and find myself in a dimly lit waiting room. A few rickety chairs line the walls, and there doesn't seem to be anyone behind the front desk. There are a few paintings and pictures on the wall, but they're so nondescript, I'm still unsure of what kind of place this even is. Wait here for a moment, I'll be right back. Damien walks off down a corridor, his boot heels echoing through the halls in the seemingly empty building. Stop! Don't remind me of Payne's Creek. Distant howls echo from someplace I can't see, and there's a faint scratching sound like claws on tile. I cautiously peek down the hall and find stall after stall of scared-looking dogs. A few of them notice me and skitter up to the chain-link fence, sticking their noses through to sniff the air. What have I gotten myself into? Suddenly, the lights shut off. I panic, unsure of where I am or how I can get out. I stumble through the darkness, my breathing getting heavier and heavier. Damien? The lights finally turn back on. Hey, sailor. Mary? What are you doing here?
Come on.
You aren't here for the Fat Club? I don't want to get punched in the face. Great, because this is an animal shelter. A what? We take care of stray animals, and then people adopt the stray animals. Didn't you see the pets when you walked in? Oh, sorry, I didn't really expect to see you volunteering at an animal shelter.
Ugh.
Wow. Okay, kid, way to put me in a box. James, you hear this baloney. Just one moment. Thunder cracks and a door bursts open. Appearing from the shadows, I see... Damien? Hey. It's Damien! He looks completely different. No cloak, no Victorian-era clothing, no makeup. I wasn't planning to share this side of me until much later. But I'm not as goth as you think.
Oh no.
I'm a systems administrator for the IT department of a realty company. I wear tennis shoes to work, and I listen to Bruce Springsteen. I enjoy going to the hardware store and looking at storage solutions, and I volunteer at this animal shelter in my spare time. I'm boring. I'm fascinated with Victorian history and the goth lifestyle, that much is true. It's just not all that I am, and I need you to know that. Oh, hate to kill the moment here, but there's some pressing business that needs attending to.
What?
Oh, right. It's Duchess Cordelia. Again. Who's Duchess Cordelia?
Oh my.
She's one of the pups. Gets out all the time. She somehow learned how to open doors, and now she's unstoppable.
Oh.
When did she get out? This morning. I went to go sing sea shanties to the cats. When I came back, she had already bolted. I have to stay here with the pets, so I need you two to go and find her. Of course. Where could she be? I know! She always ends up running off to the same places. Here, let me draw you a map. Mary starts scribbling on the back of a pet adoption form.
Hey.
She's very smart. Ruthless, even. You need to stay on your toes and get her back by sundown, or else she turns into a werewolf and starts eating people. What? You're a perfect little peach. We just don't want her to be stuck outside when it's cold. Oh. I'll grab some treats and we can hit the road. Damien and I look over the map Mary created for us. Oh man, I'm Nerd's house. At least you're not other Nerd's house. Looks like you're moving up in the pecking order. Congrats, kiddo. Where should we head first? The dames with the heart? Kale? Kale, coffee dad? Mary's sick pad. Smalls. The ocean or whatever? Where should we head first? Cul-de-sac. Damien and I exit the parking lot and start driving towards town. I look over to him. He seems concerned. Shouldn't be too hard to find Duchess, right? She's a pretty big pup. Mary wasn't kidding when she said the dog was smart. One time she correctly guessed the winner of the Kentucky Derby. It was a really great year for Bark Bark Bark. I don't know. What do you think our odds are, monsieur? Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. But lo, look upon God's creation and retch with horror at what he hath forsaken. Hell is empty and the devils are all here. Nice. I thought that would cheer you up. Let's just hope for the best. We got this. We drive through the cul-de-sac and everything seems pretty normal. Looks like Brian's doing some yard work. We pull into Brian's driveway and hop out.
Okay.
Hey, don't step on the grass. I just mowed. Have you seen any unusual activity? Dude, I know. I love him. In the area today? Aside from your underwater lawn? Oh, here we go. How dare you? I take my lawn care very seriously. Monsieur, please. You haven't seen a dog run through here, have you?
Okay.
Well, a little while ago I heard Maxwell barking at something. When I came outside, my garden had been torn to shreds. It's gonna take forever to re-till the soil. That could be a dog. Or a rather feisty raccoon. It's not his handle! Whatever it was, it must have been hungry. Ate all my tomatoes. I'm very sorry to hear about your garden. If you need any assistance restoring it to its former glory, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Oh.
Will do, buddy. Good luck finding that dog. She's probably still hungry. I wonder if she's looking for more food elsewhere. We want to go to the Coffee Spoon. We park in front of Matt's coffee shop and walk inside. It seems like a slow day. Matt sits behind the counter reading a book. Hey, Matt.
Oh.
Didn't expect to see you two today. What's up? Have you seen any stray dogs around? Actually, yeah. I caught one digging through the trash earlier. It ran away when I tried to get closer, though. The fact that no one is fazed by Damien's appearance means that they love and accept him in every form that he is, and I love it very much. Did you see what direction it ran in? Matt thinks for a second.
Hey.
Might have been running east, I think. That pup tore through the 3 pans of old banana bread Kennedys. Want to take some for the road, just in case? Sure thing. Matt packages up a slice. Thanks for the slice. The road slice. This banana bread is going to be so good. I think he meant to give it to you for the dog. Right, I meant it's gonna be so good for the dog to eat. I feel like we're on the right track. You think? If we keep this up, we'll find the Duchess in no time. Hey, if you like dogs so much, why don't you have any? Lucian is severely allergic. I wouldn't put him through that. But there are still dogs in my life, so for that, I am grateful. There's about to be one more dog in your life, buddy. Splendid attitude. Let us not waste any more time. Verily. We drive to the softball field. Looks like Craig's team is practicing. I wonder if any kids saw something. Craig spots us and jogs over. Softball slung over his shoulder.
Oh.
Hey bros, what's up? Craig, you wouldn't have happened to see a dog around here, have you? One escaped from the animal shelter and we're trying to locate her. I don't think so. Maybe one of the girls saw something? Girls? Hi, Amanda's dad. Hi, Lucian's dad. We have names. Girls, have you seen any dogs around? There was a big dog here earlier. She ran off a while ago, though. I don't think she had an owner, but it really wanted to play. We tried to play fetch with her, but she just took the softball and ran. I think she ate it, actually. She was a lot of dog.
Oh.
Here, take another softball. Might come in handy later.
Huh.
Many thanks, Craig. What, eating softballs? We arrived back at the Bayside. Just like old times, eh? I remember it as if it were yesterday. I mean, earlier today. So what do you think? Any sign of the pooch? None yet, although who knows if she made it onto any of these ships. The Duchess would do that? I wouldn't put it past her to know how to navigate in rough seas and without a compass. Very smart. Pops? Damien and I turned to see my daughter. Amanda, what are you doing here? Did you think I just stayed inside all day, vegging out on the couch and watching TV? Oh, sorry. What are you doing?
Alright.
I'm heading home to go veg out on the couch and watch TV.
Huh.
I had to get a burrito first.
Oh.
Young miss, have you seen a dog around here?
Yes.
Oh, you bet. I saw a Pomeranian with a bow around its neck. I saw a big old Doberman named Henry. There was a stroller full of Yorkies, a Greyhound, a Golden Retriever. Did you see a Mastiff anywhere? No dice. I would definitely have remembered that.
Eh?
I gotta run though. This Ritos has about 10 minutes before the cheese breaks down the molecular structure of the tortilla and makes it all soggy. You understand. I do? Of course. Have a lovely evening, Miss Dilf. Matt said the Duchess went east from the coffee spoon, but there's no sign of her. I suppose we need to go not so east? I fear that the hours are growing short. We must make haste if we're to find the Duchess by sundown. Damien's looking more stressed out by the minute. I gotta think of something to lighten the mood. How many goths does it take to screw in a light bulb? I don't know. How many? 1! Goths are very capable, especially when looking for a dog. Damien smiles to himself. I keep reading Damien directions from the map as we drive around town. Penguins! Damien and I stop by the aquarium. Everything looks in order here, but it might help to get out of the car and take a look. You see anything? Damien's my fave. No dog here. Not even any sign of her. Did you know that penguins are considered the goths of the sea? Damien, I want to believe that... Oops. Cul-de-sac. We arrive at the cul-de-sac to find everything looking normal except... Uh-oh. Hugo's front door is wide open. I guess. She can open doors. This is classic Duchess Cordelia. A telltale sign. We should approach with caution. Whatever goes down in there, I've got your back. We creep up onto the porch and step inside. There, sitting in the center of Hugo's living room like she owns the damn place, is one of the biggest dogs I have ever seen. Woof. Well, she hasn't broken anything in here. Yet. Wonderful. Now all we have to do is get this leash on her before she tries to escape again and get out of here before Hugo comes home. Easy peasy. Duchess, come here. The Duchess eyes Damien warily. As he approaches, she begins to growl. She's on her guard. We'll need another plan. Give her the banana bread Kennedys. I reach into my pocket and pull out the slice of banana bread Kennedys Matt gave me. Duchess sniffs the air and hones in on the bread. Come here, girl. Nice and easy. I've got some yummy homemade vegan and possibly gluten-free banana bread, if that's what you're into. The Duchess cautiously approaches me and gives the bread a good sniff before gently taking it from my hand and dropping it on the ground, like dogs always do for some reason. She curls up and starts munching on the bread. Success! Damien walks up behind the Duchess and attaches the leash to her collar. She immediately notices and starts whining. It's time to go home now, Duchess. Damien gives a tug on the leash. She won't move. Duchess, what happened to our rapport? You and I used to be bosom buddies. She still doesn't move. She's huge. There's no way we could even try to lift her. Well, this is a weird situation to be in. I think we are literally trespassing in our friend's house with this large dog. What are you nerds doing? Oh, what are you nerds doing? Ernest stands in the doorway with a plate of pizza rolls. What flavor pizza rolls are those? Pepperoni blast? Nice. The Duchess notices Ernest and starts pulling against the leash. Why is this dog in my house? It's a long... The Duchess suddenly breaks free from Damien's grip and hurtles towards Ernest. Ah! Ernest and the Duchess fall to the ground. Pizza rolls fly everywhere. This is bad. Ernest, are you okay? Ernest feeds the Duchess a pizza roll. Hey, she likes pizza rolls. Ernest sits up, but the dog keeps licking his face. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Hugo stands at the door, looking like he's at a loss for words.
What?
What? Why are you guys... Whose dog is this? It's a long story, but it involves a large dog who knows how to open doors. Woof. Hugo, may I present to you Duchess Cordelia? How do you do? Woof. We're friends. The Duchess licks at Ernest's face. She's from the local animal shelter. She got out and we've been chasing her all around town. Your house was her final stop. Dad, can we keep her? Ernest, I don't know if we're set up to take care of it.
What?
Wait, did you just call me Dad? Come on, please. Look at how cute she is. Okay. Hugo sighs. We'd been talking about adopting a dog for a while now. But you have to promise me you'll take care of her. Yeah, I'll give her all the pizza rolls her little heart desires. I suddenly remember what's on the back of this map and pull a pen out of my pocket. Work good tomorrow, Laura. Love you. Got the forms ready for you if you're interested. I'll even waive the adoption fee since, you know, we technically broke into your household.
Oh.
Well, alright. It's a deal. Hugo steps under the porch with us and signs the forms while Ernest plays with the Duchess inside. She sure seems to be happy with his new friend.
Oh.
I know, he called me Dad. Can you believe it? Damien places a hand on Hugo's shoulder.
Uh-huh.
I certainly can. I think this will be really good for Ernest. It should teach him some responsibility. You should probably look into getting better locks on your doors, though. The Duchess is a wily one, but do right by her and she'll love you two forever. Thank you. And long story short, the Duchess now lives in a happy home and neither of us were charged for breaking and entering. So all in all, I think it was a fine day's work. Nice work, you two.
Hey.
Monsieur, you could be a valuable asset to our team of volunteers, you know. If you ever feel like petting some puppies, hit me up. Mary, I always feel like petting puppies. Good to know. Well, I'll catch you fellas later. Mary starts to leave. And one last thing. Damien's been telling me about you. I'm glad he finally brought you around. He's been talking to Mom about us! Oh yeah,
Come on.
Damien's my special boy. I love him. We go way back and I got a vested interest in his health, success, and well-being. If you ever hurt him,
Oh.
Mary, you can fill in the blanks. I gulp. Yes, ma'am. Mary leaves me alone with Damien. This is... I forget how good how good Damien's story is. It's so good. So, about the whole goth thing, I, completely understand if you aren't interested in me anymore. What? Am I missing something here?
Oh, no.
I'm not a cool goth prince. I'm boring. I own 5 pairs of tennis shoes. I wear dumb glasses. Don't you care? He looks so nervous. Damien, do you really think I only like you because of all the goth stuff? That's all cool, but the best thing about you is how passionate you are about the things you love. History, art, Victorian fashion, dogs, storage solutions. It doesn't matter what it is. You care, and that's awesome. And also, the glasses are very cute. You don't think I'm boring at all? If you're boring, then I don't know what that makes me. I spend too much time online shopping for flashlights. I get excited to mow my lawn on Saturdays. I get cranky about commercials being too loud. I've even been thinking about making my own peanut butter. Then maybe we could be boring together? It would never be boring if it was with you! I'm losing it. Damien suddenly closes the gap between us and pulls me into a hug. He buries his face in my shoulder. His hair smells like lavender and rosemary. I was so scared you wouldn't like me. Quite the opposite. Damien pulls away for a second and looks me in the eyes. Without the colored contacts, his eyes are so dark and soulful.
Oh.
May I kiss you? Consent! Consent! Thou art welcome. Verily, you may take upon yourself the... You know what? Just kiss me. He smiles slightly and leans in, giving me a gentle kiss. Damien pulls away and gives me an intense look.
Huh.
Do you want to help me take care of the puppies? Yes! Damien and I arrive back at the cul-de-sac, our fingers intertwined. Like a proper gentleman, he walks me to my doorstep. This was lovely. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for everything. I'm very happy I can be myself around you. I'm glad. But I have one request.
Huh.
What's that? Can we keep sending each other letters? I'm fine.
Oh.
But of course. Damien kisses me one last time before turning around and heading home. Amanda runs back to the couch from the window and tries to look as nonchalant as possible. Hello, Father. I was sitting here, on the couch, this entire time. Hi, Amanda.
Oh.
So, are you guys, like, starting a vampire coven together? Oh, plot twist. Mothman. Damien's actually Mothman. I didn't see it coming either. Genius. Well, whatever's happening, I'm really glad you two are happy. You deserve it, Dad. Oh, shucks. I'm gonna head to bed. Catch you in the morning? Sure thing. I make my way to my room and fall into my bed with my heart full, excited for the days to come. Wait!
My dear friend, you've simply taken the egg on this one. Taken the egg is it's a Victorian phrase. It technically means winning, so, ultimately, you've won.
This was the only correct choice after Joseph's run. This was the only correct choice. My face hurts from smiling so much. Damien's and his outfit and his glasses. Oh, oops. Extra hands apple and all steal dog. Oh, they're talking about volunteering at the shelter. I'm so sorry. Where's your goth prince? You two are usually attached at the hip these days. He's around. Stellar. Mary turns her attention to Amanda. It's not too hard to sneak a dog into college. Trust me, I did it plenty back in the day. At one point, I had 3 cats living in my dorm. I decided to leave them to it. Oh my god, Amanda and Mary being the best of friends. All of a sudden, a huge dog leaps up into my arms! This is the best timeline! This is the best timeline! Duchess! Hugo and Ernest run up to me. The Duchess gives me my face a few broad licks and hops down.
I don't know.
We're working on that. Got her in a disciplinary class. She's a wild spirit who runs where she may. I don't mind at all. Looks like the 3 of you are getting along nicely.
Ah.
She's a valuable addition to the clan. If I hold up my homework in front of her, she'll eat it. Cool. We'll deal with that later. He's actually been a lot more manageable lately. I think taking care of the dog is good for him. This is the best timeline. Thanks for breaking into my house, I guess. Anytime. Yeah. Shut up, Brian. You're the worst timeline.
Bro. Oh.
Hey. Ah. Oh.
Hey.
Lucian! Are we gonna bond with our future stepson? Yes, Lucian? Thanks for inviting me to your party. Anytime, bud. I know we had a rocky start, but I'm glad to know you. I hope you know how much your dad cares about you. Yeah. My dad's had a rough couple of years, and I know that it must not have been easy to raise me alone. He's kind of a weird guy, but I love him a lot, and it seems like you make him happy. So, you're cool in my book. Thank you, Lucian. That means a lot to me. Sure. And let me know if you want me to give you a stick and poke sometime. Thanks for coming by, Lucian. See you around, Monsieur. As the party starts to wind down, I take a seat on our back porch step. The sun is setting and everyone seems to have eaten their fill. Okay, this is present time with Amanda. Blah, blah, blah. Boom. Damien. Damien! Yes! I take a seat next to Damien as the last guests make their way out of the party.
Oh.
Did you know that in the Victorian era, they would call benches city boys? What? Really? I'm kidding. But what if? It's good to see you in your civvies again. Thank you. I had a revelation the other day, Monsieur, and I think it was largely due to your continued influence upon me. There was a version of myself that might have been embarrassed to show you my true form, my information technology form. But what you said about me, about how my passion was what you truly admired, that emboldened me to feel like myself regardless of how I choose to dress and act. Instead of separate entities, they are simply different facets of myself. A three-dimensional human being with his own thoughts, wants, and needs. I love dressing the way that I do, but feeling constricted by what I thought was my very own personal brand made me lose sight of why I did this in the first place. To make myself happy. I place my hand on Damien's and feel a light squeeze. Looking up, I'm greeted by Damien's warm smile. I'm trying to be more comfortable with who I am, rather than dwelling on who I could be to other people. I can't stop smiling. I'm so proud of him. Damien, I'm so happy you've realized that you can be a dog-loving goth. Me too, Monsieur. Me too. I feel myself inching closer and closer to Damien. I go to brush a lock of hair out of his face and I'm shocked at how soft it is. How is your hair so soft? Dog shampoo. I keep running my hands through his hair as he leans closer to me, placing a hand on the side of my face. He strokes my cheek with his thumb. You know, public displays of affection were considered scandalous in the Victorian era. Damien pulls me in for a kiss.
Oh.
But I think I can make an exception for you. Give me his picture, give me his picture, give me his picture right now. This is a threat. Give me his picture. This is the best timeline. Let me see it. Give me it. Give me. Give me. Give me. Give me. The boots! The boots! I cannot! Dan, stop wolfing in chat. Stop wolfing in chat! This is the best timeline! We just stop playing the game now. This is it. He's just so good. I agree wholeheartedly. Just get like a patch for the game that's just Damien. Holy shit. Okay. So this means Friday we'll do a double feature of Matt and Hugo. Although we'll all just be really sad and missing Damien.